do is make Santa's sack down the side of this soap. So I've got my oils that I need for that, and I'm just going to add my terracotta red mica from Mica Mama. Okay, so I'm going straight into my oil because that's a single colour. So let's just add in my lye solution and my sodium lactate. The fragrance I'm using for this soap is Cinnamon Orange from Craftovator in the UK, and I do really love this fragrance. It's a lovely, you could use it all year round I guess, but it is a nice festive sort of style fragrance. It behaves really well in soap, it sticks really well, it doesn't discolour and it doesn't accelerate. But to be honest, in a technique like I'm doing today with some scraped layers and things, having something that accelerates a little bit wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm going to give that a little blend in because I actually don't mind if that thickens up a bit. For my sack, I want it down the side of my mould. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour into this side of the mould and then balance on my, this is called the Cheshire Cat from Custom Craft Tools, but you could just use tea towels or whatever. I would actually normally pour this on the Cheshire Cat, but I can't really get you to see what's going on if I do that. Some of it will go down the other bits of the mould, but I'm just trying to do that on an angle. Get that poured in. I think I'm going to have to resort to getting it on here. Yeah, you can still sort of see in there, can't you? Yep. And get this in and setting it up, and as it gets thicker I'll be able to move it into the position I want. So it's much further across the mould than I actually need at the moment. I didn't want to fill the whole mould up and then just scrape out and leave the Santa sack, because that would have been a huge amount of soap to scrape out. So I'm just trying to do the minimal as possible. Can you see there that I've done what I said, in that I've sort of scraped bits, smushed that all up the side a bit more, and it's now at a point where it will support itself. So I can go in with my little Santa sack scraper. And I'm just going putting some towards the back there because they're still not quite high enough to get the shape that I want right at the top. Okay, so quite a lot coming off here. I could have done less, but I actually want some sample soaps with this fragrance, so I deliberately made a little bit more because, first of all, it makes it easier to scrape if you don't have to worry about moving stuff around too much. But also, I wanted some samples. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to put that to the side and let that set up a bit further. I'll just clean off this end bit and then I'll be done with that. Now what I want to do is the carpet underneath my little gnome. And what I've done here is I've got some brushed copper mica from Mica Mama. So I've got my oils and my lye solution here. And I've just mixed them together by hand. I've just basically stirred them together. I want to pour a little bit off first and let that set up a bit and then do the rest. Let's pour off about half of it. I'm just going to blend that up with my little mini mixer. So for this bit, there's my nice little Santa sack. I want a bit of carpet obviously underneath my gnome. And then I need to have my gnome sitting on the carpet. So I'm just putting a bit of my carpet there. I want that to set up a bit so it supports the gnome. And then the rest of it is going to have more carpet on top. So I don't need it to be a completely flat layer. Okay, so I think that will do. It's a bit lumpy bumpy, but that's okay. The gnome will squash it down a bit, and then this bit here is going to get covered up with more of this soap, this colour anyway. I think that's now set up enough that I can get my gnome in there. So I'm going to drop him in. I need to be careful I don't damage that Santa sack. Excuse my head, I know my head's getting in the way of the camera. And I kind of want to shimmy him enough that the base of him touches the Santa sack. So he sort of looks like he's starting to lean against it. But I do need a gap because I need to get some of that wall colour down behind him when I do the wall. Okay, I think that's him in there. Little gnome. I do love my gnomes, they're so cute.
Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everything.
Okay, so I've got our last lot made up. It's a nice orange here. Now this is actually a combination of golden shimmer and some neon orange in here. So what I'm going to do first of all is just get a bit of this down behind the gnome. And then once I'm happy that that's done, I can start putting my presents in and worrying about those. And fill these little ridges as well. Anything that needs fluid batter. Right, I'm happy with that now. For my presents, I want to make a little present stack. The idea is like the gnome's had a busy day, working all day, packing all the presents. Just on the last lot, and he's having a little sit down. So I've got my little presents made with the I Dream in Soap wrapped presents extruder discs. So these can now go into my soap.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be...
Okay, I think that's all I can do to try and get that levelled out. I'm just clearing off the top of this last present that I've got in at the moment, because I want to stack my very last present on top of that. Okay, my last one. And I do want it a little bit, just a tiny bit off of the wall. Look how thick that's getting. Okay, so just a tiny bit behind it, just so I can squish it in and get some soap, because this is a sort of a cone shape sort of present, you know, so it's not square, so it's not going to lay flat against the wall. Okay, so now I can stand this Prezi up and push it into position. There. I think that seems to be in position. Right, I can get the rest of this on. It's a little bit thick, but that'll be okay. Because I've got no more small areas to fill in. I'll give it a stir. That'll probably revive it a bit. Okay, so it's thick, but certainly it's nice and movable. It's not the sort of thing that you're pushing into the mould and causing air bubbles. And that's really not the fault of the fragrance oil. The fragrance oil is a lovely fluid fragrance oil, but I did blend this quite a lot, and I did also heat it up a bit, and probably didn't really need to do that. So I've got that top pretty level. It's not perfect, but that's fine. I don't mind it not being completely level. I'm just more concerned that I want the bars to be basically a similar size. And now I'm just going to drop some little presents on top just to finish that off. And these are just like the embeds on the inside, but these were some spare little end bits that I had. So I've just chop them up. Let's pop these ones that I just did a second ago and pop these on. No specific order, I'm just dropping on the top. Sorry about that, I wasn't talking then. I thought I was cutting this soap. I've done some soaps just for Instagram where I don't talk on the cutting and things like that, so that's why I didn't say anything. I thought I was just cutting one, then suddenly I thought, oh no, you did a proper video for this one. Anyway, here's our soap the next day. You saw me cut it, although I didn't say anything. Let's have a look at what we've got inside. Remember, we should have our little gnome sitting against a big old Santa sack after he's had a busy day packing his prezzies. Let's have a look. There he is. Oh, look, he's really cute. He's come out lovely and cute. Let's have another couple. Smells gorgeous, this cinnamon orange. I do really like it. It's a lovely fragrance.
And here's a final photo of the soap to finish off. I hope you like this soap and you've enjoyed the video. If you have, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up. Maybe leave a comment in the comments section below, as these things help my channel to grow. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy soaping!